Hi, I'm Rick Harmon. If you're a real estate agent or a broker dealing with inherited property anywhere in California, there are a few things you need to know, and I want to provide you a few insights in the form of a few videos you can use. No legal advice, nothing really technical, but some basic things you can apply in making your life easier for you and your seller. Nobody wants to be prospecting for people who aren't certain, so you want to be looking for sellers, of course, who are interested in selling and want to work with you. So I use a little system I call the 5-star prospecting system, and I borrow this from my friend Dean, and it's very simple. You want to look for sellers who are looking to work with you, somebody who has the kind of problems and understands what you have, the expertise, somebody who wants what you have, somebody who is going to accept what you have to offer and your way of communicating and returns your call, friendly and cooperative. And lastly, someone who follows through on what they say they're going to do. Now, you can come up with your own criteria, but I strongly suggest you have some way of rating your prospects so that they are in fact reachable and that they can be connected to later, even after your initial conversation. Now, what I like to do is I also have a system that I call Petito. Don't think of it as potato or something else, but it's my little system for looking at an opportunity. So I have these little lead sheets that I use when I have somebody who is going to sell, and I use it as my way of both ranking and capturing information as well as talking to others when I've got kind of a messy scenario. Not unusual at all when you deal with inherited property because perhaps decades of problems have involved. So what is this? Basically, it's really simple. P is for property. What's the property? What's its rough value? Does it have a lot of work, etc.? Then we have E, that's the equity. Hopefully there's equity. Don't forget that when you're selling a property, the sales price and your commission specifically is going to be coming out of the seller's equity, unless you're someone who is going to be trying to sell something that's upside down, meaning has no equity and the seller doesn't have any equity to pay your sales price, to pay your commission. And then the third thing is title. Well, sometimes in title there may be missing owners, there may be other title issues that pop up, and the record owners may be Uncle Fritz, and Uncle Fritz hasn't been seen in decades. So you do want to be very familiar with title before you get too far into that process, certainly before you are ready to sign up a buyer. You want to know if you're going to have other issues there. Okay, so we have property, we have equity, we have title. Now, what's the next thing is interest. Well, the interests are basically the heirs of the beneficiaries or other people who may have claims or counterclaims on this. So I like to think of the interests in terms of who is going to care about the sale of the property. Well, there may be people who don't want the property to be sold at all. For example, if Sally lives in the property and she doesn't want to see it sold, and Billy, who is up in some other state, Idaho or something like that, and Billy wants money for his next crazy project or something, or investment scenario, or he's buying crypto. Who knows what the money's going to be used for, but they now have diverse interests. They have competing agendas. That's going to be a problem, so you be aware of that when you're looking at the interests side of this. And then threats is going to be key. So threats are, and I look at it, either real threats, current threats in terms of time things. An example of a current threat would be, well, a pending foreclosure sale coming right up because it's about to go to auction. That's going to limit your ability to complete the transaction within a certain time frame, or tax sale, or other types of issues, or some other kind of a drop dead type of a deadline. And those types of threats are obvious, but some of the threats are not as obvious. And some of those threats could be things like code enforcement and others who are potential threats or out there that could ramp up and become bigger threats. And then the last part of Petito is opportunities. And I like to think of the opportunities in different ways I might approach it. For example, in probate estates, as in trusts, for many decades, I did very well finding ways to give people higher value by selling properties or transferring, having people carry a note, basically the old-fashioned seller carryback or seller financing, if you want to use that term. That's just one opportunity, but if you list the opportunities that are applicable to this particular estate, or inherited property, you may find it's an easier path to a sale. You may end up being the one who carries the paper or even brokers a note. There's any number of ways you can approach that, but if you think of this, collectively, comprehensively, as a way that you can approach a sale, these opportunities could be multiple ways to sell a property and earn a commission and get your shortest path to a payday. Hi, this is Rick Harmon from ClosedProbate.com. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you want more, absolutely subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as my Rick's Rants weekly email at rickharmon.com. You get weekly insights and ideas and more insights on how you can close your probates even sooner. Look forward to seeing you on the other side.